while also providing a welcoming, productivity-focused workplace environment. And she's a believer in continuous improvement and purposeful leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome the Chief Executive Officer of Foteino Talento, Mrs. Ivie, or Miss Ivie Aderibigbe. Thank you so much. Tall and pretty, right? Okay, now she's the executive we'll be talking to, and also she has an Ivie here. This session is where we want to actually see how they work together. Probably a practical example of how they work together, what is behind their mind. Also, we'll welcome her EA,
You're messing up my outfit up, you know, right? You're messing up my outfit.
And she's with a strong track record of supporting senior executives and driving organizational excellence. Now, with over a decade of experience spanning across administration, executive support, and strategic coordination, she has built a reputation as a trusted partner to leadership, ensuring that vision translates into execution. Currently, she works closely with the CEOs to align business strategy with day-to-day operations oversee departmental projects, and also manage executive communications at the highest level. Our expertise covers executive administration, project management, HR support, business development, and also operational oversight. Now, this is an executive assistant to Ms. Ivie Aderibigbe. You can see her profile, quite huge. Please make welcome Mary Barbara Ugbonna. Yes, Mary Barbara Ugbonna. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I'm on the wrong side.
And to moderate this event, of course, is, how do I say it? It's a beautiful host standing before you. Oh, that's it. Okay, Mitchell. Okay. Good afternoon once again, ladies. Still morning, 1 minute to 12. Good morning. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
So I will be asking the questions and I will be seeing how you all tend to work together. This purpose is actually to demonstrate how the real world EAs partner and function together like this, and also maybe inspire me to take your job. That's the aim. Yes. Okay, so the first question will be, how long have you worked together, and what initially made you both good match? Feels like, partners, husbands and wives,
No, honestly, she's my partner for sure, for sure. Okay, we started, good morning everyone. I love how many people are here because ever since I've had an EA, the importance of executive assistance is so magnificent in my mind. So it's lovely to see so many of you trying to, improve and do training and all of those things. So thank you very much. And obviously our fantastic organizer, well done. So I had started my company, Foteino Talento, well done on the pronunciation, very good, in 2019. And we had a physical space in 2021. So, it was a one-man band for a long time. I did try and get a PA quite early on, let's just say it didn't last very long. And then, interestingly, I got a second full-time job. And at that point was when I realized that I actually need an assistant because I have too many things going on. And somebody who's actually here today sent me a CV, and I looked through and I said, wait, this is perfect match. I want to see her. And that was in 2022, I'm not sure if I mentioned. So we've been working together ever since then, and she is just everything I need. Everything I need. No, don't worry, I'll gush more. We're only just in question one. Don't worry, we're getting to you.
Okay, that's nice. Now, how would you describe a typical day or week working together?
I'm not sure we have anything like a typical day or week. So as you mentioned, we are in HR consulting and we have a co-working space. So for me, the reason why I needed an executive assistant is because I needed someone that was able to step into whatever role I needed them to do at whatever time. So it was important that all the different things, whether it's the client, whether it's a piece of work, a presentation, or the taxman has come to our front door saying that we owe TV and radio license. I don't know when they started that one, but it was very annoying. And I didn't want to see them, I didn't want to have those kinds of conversations. And Mary Barbara was able to take on those roles very quickly. So it's difficult to explain what a typical day is, but what I know is that a typical day involves trust. I trust that she's doing what she needs to do. I trust that if I give her a task, it will be done when she can slot in the things that she's done. I don't know if you want to add.
Yeah, maybe, Barbara, I actually like your name. Would you like to add something to it? Thank you.
Just echoing what she said, we really don't have what you would call your routine, typical day. We tackle each task or project as it may be, and trust is really essential in whether you're an EA or not. If your boss can't trust you enough, or don't trust you at all, then you're actually never going to get anywhere. It impedes your work efficiency, and if you are someone who's like me, I'm very self-critical of my work. So I don't even, not that I even need my boss to say, oh, you didn't do this well, but before she does that, I'm already self-analyzing. Have I done this? Did I do this well? When am I supposed to get on to the next task? I'm constantly thinking and wired that way. So to have someone who would create that time and mentor you day to day for different tasks can be very fulfilling. So yeah, our typical day is very untypical.
Yeah, I love that. Now, which will make me ask you this question. Can you describe your work relationship? I will ask you first. In 3 words. 3 words. Stress usually.
Okay, no. I'm not saying this because here. I actually love what I do, and I think when you do that, it takes away all that noise. It becomes unnecessary to you. So for me, for 3 words would be trust. There's going to be a lot of trust being from around the room. And then the second one would be adaptability, especially more on my part. I feel it's very essential for you to be able to adapt not just to the situations you find yourself in, but with who you're working with. If you can adapt to their style of work, and every boss is different. Every boss is different. So what would usually work for boss A would definitely not work for boss B. So adaptability, and then foresight. It's very, very important. And I don't think I realized how important it was for me until I started working with her. Coincidentally, foresight is one of our core values. And I heard that a lot in the first 3 months working with her. Foresight, foresight, foresight. Every single project, foresight, foresight.
You have to
drum into my skull.
You need to think for me. Like, I need you to think on my behalf. Like, see it before I see it.
Yeah, so for me, those were the 3 words.
Okay, and you?
Trust, definitely. And then, interestingly, I didn't realize my second word is also one of our core values, which is integrity. Because I know trust and integrity are similar, but there's a way in which I might trust you to do the job, but do you have integrity in order to perform it the way that it would actually best reflect me, the company, all of these things, like, or I don't know if anyone's ever worked with someone that always looks like they're trying to put their foot somewhere or kind of get a one-up or whatever. So I feel like integrity is one of those things where it's like, okay, you're not just working for yourself or trying to better yourself. You're also trying to reflect the company's goals well. And lastly, this is definitely my word, I don't know if it's her word, dependency. Or maybe if it's your word as well, it can be codependency, but for me, I depend on her. So yeah, that's very important to me.
It's just amazing. I'm really loving this.
We are in love. We're actually in love. Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay, well, that's an inner thought. Now, speaking of, all of that, and I'm sure that you must have put in place for your partner right here. Now, what were the structures that you put in place for her to actually have an effective partnership?
So early on, as I mentioned before, the reason why, and I think if there's any executives in the room, if you already have an EA or you think you need one, it's because you should be hyper aware of your weaknesses. What can I not do that I need someone else to do for me? Even if you're perfect, that's great, but it could also be like, okay, what am I spending too much time on that I shouldn't spend so much time on? But back to the weaknesses, I did not have structure. So I knew I needed someone that could help me create structure. I can do the work, but I'll go like this before I land, whereas we all know structure can help you walk just straight and get there. So early on, we did not have much, and like I mentioned, I had started another full-time job working for someone else at the same time as well as doing my own business. So I was all over the place, and poor Mary Barbara probably did not know what to do quite early on, but we then implemented daily meetings, of course, which is something that you should definitely be doing.
Well-rounded. I'm working for you. I need to understand your business. I need to understand it like it is my business, my idea, my baby. That way, when my boss is talking to me about certain things, I can see it from her own lens. I can understand it. So a typical example or a case study would be when employers have a lot of things going on, they have to pay government taxes, they have to pay rent, this one, that one, and then the staff will just be in the corner and say, oh, we break down 10 million. What is this? Give us employment engagement activities, take us to that. It's easy, from the other end to just judge and look all those things, but you're not seeing the hidden bills. You're not seeing the fact that the employer is not even being paid themselves. There are most businesses where CEOs don't get paid. It's not because they don't want to get paid, but they can't afford to get paid, or they can't afford to do other things. And I'm not negating the fact that there's a flip side to all that also, that there are businesses where they're actually making money and they're not doing well by their staff. But when you tend to think in that line, for me, I become better and more efficient. I understand more what she's doing. So in answering your question, yes, we had to find a way to understand each other. I needed to understand her as a person, understand the business itself, understand where it should be. And once I was able to key into that vision, it just became easier.
Okay, this is just my question. Now, which of you did it more? Which of you tried to put the structure more?
She. Okay, I think you have a great that, Okay.
Like I say, thank you. I think you're the one actually, because she actually said that, she wasn't able to.
But it is her, because even if I would say, okay, I put in the structures, if she didn't set the ground or the tone, it wouldn't work. She has to let me in. No matter how effective you are, if you and your boss doesn't have a good rapport, good communication, clarity on what you're supposed to do, nothing you do will work.
Okay, true. Okay, speaking of having to put the structure in place, are there any routines, that you follow to keep you staying aligned with it? Like that, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. So are there any routine that you can actually let them know that you have in place?
So we have our daily meetings that everybody is involved in the company, and daily stand-up meeting and so on. So in those meetings, it's very important for each person to get across what they're doing for the day, and especially if anyone says, "Oh, I want to have a meeting with boss," "Oh, something, boss, but I don't see my name, I'm like, "Oh," but then very Barbara will make notes, "Oh, this person wants to see, this person wants to see, this person wants to see." So the morning meetings are really great, and then we also implemented maybe a year after daily some 4 p.m. meetings as well. So it's like a roundup. The person that everything you've done, the things that you didn't get to do, the meeting that you didn't get to have, if it's within the company, can you do that now in the last hour of work? And how can you make sure you wrap up the day well? What other structures do you have?
We started our weekly check-ins, so
Yes.
we run through everything we're supposed to do for this week, and then what we have plans for the next week. So we're just being prepared is the motto, actually.
Okay, sorry, I just wanted to add also, Mary Barbara has different phone numbers, so I use, for WhatsApp, one phone number with the black and white display picture is what we talk about, one thing, and then the other one with the color picture is what we talk about, another thing, and it just makes it easier to not have to track, to not have to, what was that message, like, you go back, you go forth, but I mean, I know a lot of people probably use Slack and email, all that stuff, fine. But when you whip out your phone, you just need a quick. So, thankfully, because she has 2 numbers, that's another informal structure that we have in place.
That's actually very new, because I find it very distracting when people chat me with 2 different numbers. How do you manage
It's
that?
not my 2 numbers, it's not 2 numbers.
How do you manage that?
Because of the nature of our business and what she
You can
does.
say it, I know you want to say it, you can say it.
So she's a CEO by day and a DJ by night.
Wow, so
I didn't want to say that. That was the most interesting thing about me. Everybody wants to know, oh, wait, yeah, I know now. No one wants to know about
did anyone guess you'd be a DJ? Okay. Okay, here we go. DJ.
Yes, continue. Anyone wants to say?
We're trying as much as possible to keep Foteino Talento separate from the DJ aspect of her. So we decided, you know what, my other night is dedicated to DJ activities, everything that has to do with that life. And then my official number is dedicated to the business. And prior to her, I wouldn't even have thought of it. Just have one number, have your piece, let me have my piece. But for some reason, it just clicked, it just worked, and it has been working ever since.
That's very, very interesting. Now, how do you know what to delegate to her?
Yes. So I think I don't know whether it's a blessing or a curse for Mary Barbara, but for her, she dove into everything that I do. So at a point, it was, little by little, okay, so I do HR, I do the co-working space, which requires marketing, which requires all sorts of things. And I made sure that she was involved in everything. She has access to my email, read them, understand them, learn what it is. She's joining me in HR, strategic HR meetings where she's thinking, I don't know anything. Don't worry, you'll know soon. Just listen to this, right? All of those things. So it's important that she was overexposed to everything I did so that when I'm referring to something or asking about something, she has the foundation. But I think also if there are any executives in the room or even all of the assistants in the room that are looking for ways to help your executive delegate, it might be difficult to get very, very busy people to do this, but or maybe ask them to make a list. Okay, what's the things that you enjoy doing? Where do you enjoy your time being spent? We've done a lot of EA recruitment, since I'm an expert now. We've done a lot of EA recruitment for some of our clients. So, for example, we had a chef And it's like, okay, so what do you love to do? Cook, sure. But then maybe it's plating, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. What do you hate? Sending emails, arranging meetings, da da da. So if you split the page, one side is what do I love to do, what do I love spending my time doing? The other side is everything else. Your assistant should be able to tick off as much as possible. Obviously, there are some things that she can't send bank transfers for me, but she can tell me, and remind me again, this bill has not been paid. So I think if you're able to split those two things, and most of the time when we need assistance, it's not on the things that we love to do, because I'll spend 3 hours just creating an idea or creating a strategy. When it comes to sending that email to someone, when it comes to doing some of the research, like let's find vendors, I might not be wanting to spend my time going through people looking for vendors, so that's something that I can delegate. And then lastly, if it takes me more than 2 days to do by myself, I will then delegate it. And it could be as small as sending an email. You can send that email. I know I can send that email. I know I'm supposed to send that email. I'll sleep. In my brain and in my dreams, the email will be haunting me. I still won't send it. By the time I wake up, please send this email. And it's small because I can just maybe send her a voice note or just bring up, I need you to tell this person that X, Y, and Z. But you can't send an email like that. You have to formulate the email. So if I can delegate that to her, that then remove some of the mental load of what I'm going through.
Okay. And you, okay, well, I just want to add to that. So what you're seeing here is very, rosy and lovey-dovey, and it doesn't just happen overnight. And why I thought back on this was because you talked about delegation. I have not actually had a bad experience with her. That's not the case. However, in the beginning, it wasn't this synergy wasn't that high. We had to learn each other. I had to understand her as a person. And of course, I am certain, even though she's singing my praises here, I am certain I have messed up once or twice. It's definitely a fact.
Me too, though. I'm not always the easiest person to work with the way anybody wouldn't be on any day. So, yes, but same.
So it took a lot of work and it took a lot of commitment. I was convinced that this is the place I want to be. I was convinced that I would learn a lot being in this organization. And something again that actually drew me to wanting to work with her from the very beginning, after our physical interview, because we had a virtual first and then the physical. After my virtual, I was like, we'll see what happens. Who knows? I wasn't really going for the job at that period. Well, like, if I get it, fine. But then the physical interview, I was very, very interested in it because I wanted to see what she would say about my CV. Most companies that I've worked for, once they see my CV, they're like, until you don't sit down one place. Today, you are admin. Tomorrow, you're secretary. Next tomorrow, on air. Next tomorrow, what are you? What did you study? Are you actually trying to carve a path for yourself? And from time to time, I tend to feel guilty, like, of course I'm trying to carve a path, I love administration, but I also actually love being an EA, I love being a personal assistant. And people think it's weird when I say, like, you can start your own business. Yes, but why can't I just be the engine to drive somebody else's home?
Thank you. For that, I think I should also ask, do you believe in, if I can't manage my life properly, why can't I manage someone else's life?
Yes.
Thank you.
I know, I keep... I have this conversation and I'm like, she says, oh, my room is so organized. I'm like, I wish I was. Like, you see what I'm doing for you, I wish I could do for myself. I really wish I could say, oh, don't procrastinate on this. But then I'm on her case, oh, what you need to do this, oh, you need to do this, oh, we've done that, we're going to do that. But then, I don't know, I think it's just that whole thing of you're able to see a flaw, you're able to see something derailing for someone else easier than seeing it for yourself. And it's also easier to give someone the pill than taking the pill. But then if you're a realistic person, you would know, you can just tell where your weakness or your strengths are. I know that, of course, everyone would like to do something for themselves, but I actually enjoy being part of something big. I enjoy seeing an idea come to life, irrespective of whether it's mine or not. And once I am just able to key into it, I forget that it is not my business. It immediately is my business. I am the owner of that business. She doesn't know, but I am the owner of that business.
I know, actually.
So, yeah, I just, that's it for me.
Okay, so how do you now manage those delegation skills effectively? How are you able to manage all of that?
I tend to note things down. So, whether it's on my phone, a pen to paper, I try to use my phone, gadgets, but I usually rely on pen to paper a lot. Unfortunately, I'm not to do that way. No matter whatever is on my phone is on my book, it's everywhere. Reminders, even for myself, I'm setting reminders on my phone, on my Google Calendar. And of course, you have to understand that you may be getting multiple tasks at the same time. So you then have to understand what is critical, what is important, how you're setting your priorities. Because all tasks can be important, but not all of them are critical at the same time. Having the understanding of such, having the understanding of the business, having continuous feedback. And I think that's one thing I'm very grateful for. I have a boss that feedback is easy. And because you have that feedback, you're able to do your job better. You understand what you're supposed to do. So our meetings, the feedback, and it's self-training. You actually have to train yourself. You actually have to want to be better as a person. Just because, or rather, let me just say, just because I'm receiving praises today, then tomorrow I'll just go and sit down and say, "What's praise me? I'm so good."
I can be like that.
Tomorrow I will fail awfully. You always have to be on your toes. You always have to be prepared. You always have to remember why you are there. And I tell people, especially my colleagues, all the time that, and I've heard her say it too, it's not you. Sometimes it's never about you, it's the work. We laugh, we talk, especially when you have a good rapport with your boss. You tend to forget that they're your boss. Because you guys are just staying and laughing. They are still your boss. They still pay you salary. Remember that. So when you are able to compartmentalize that, you will never, the chances of you going overboard or, what's the word? Taking your boss for granted would be little to nothing. You always have to say, oh, just because she's nice, that doesn't mean I would now start taking her for granted and, my boss is nice, so she doesn't, I can take this, no, it's always learn to draw the line, always have that respect for her. Do your work with respect, carry yourself with respect, and you will come at it.
Well, that's a good one. Now, with all these amazing things that you both have said about yourselves, now when something bad will happen, when something bad happens, when a task is not done, or when a task fails, for you, how do you handle all of that? Did you receive shouts sometimes?
Before the shout, I've shouted at myself. I will panic. Like I said, I'm very self-critical. So if I've done something and I know that this thing is terrible, I'm already beating myself up. Like, God, how? Why? When did I miss? What did I do? But every boss is different. Just putting that out there. With her, it's just coming up straight to say, boss, this is what happened. Irrespective of whether she knows or not. Most times she already knows. So I just am upfront about it. And I'm lucky because once we have that chat, it's done and dusted, we're moving forward. We're not, she doesn't like, sorry. You want to piss that off, you do something bad, just keep telling her you're sorry. You will be sorry. So once you have apologized, the next step is not to dwell on the situation, and which is what I would say. What is the next step? How are you going to salvage the situation? Don't dwell on it. The more it lingers, the worse it gets. However, on the flip side, just because you want to solve it quickly, you should be careful not to make rash decisions, because that's another thing. In a bid to wanting to solve it.
Thank you for saying that, Mary.
In a bid to wanting to solve it quickly, you can just worsen the whole thing. So having that conversation with her, this is where things went bad. Listen. So whenever she's telling me my flaws, as of course as a human being, you will feel bad, like I've done all this nice and it's just a small one now, it's going to get my whole career. What is it? But then while that is going on, I try to say, okay, what's the message behind this? Forget the frown, forget the body language you're getting. Just focus on the message, no matter how hard it is to swallow. If you can stand there and your mom is scolding, is paying you, but at the end of the day, you love her. If you can stay there, your friend is giving you all the hope hits, your boyfriend, your husband, whatever it is, by the end of the day, you still get the message. You can still apply that same principle. So that's how it works.
Wow, I think you guys are really trying UAEs. I don't know if I want to be a part of this. Now, see you. How do you handle it? And wait, before you do that, how many times? Okay, you said she was in Christmas 2022. How many times does any mishap or failure happen?
No. One can't count such. You can't keep tally. Obviously, we're not perfect. Obviously, mistakes, like she mentioned, is not because she is somebody bad. And I really hate it when, like the lady mentioned earlier, who was asking a question, when principals berate the individual. That is maybe because I'm in HR, but it's just such a big no. There's no need for all of that. There's no need to tell somebody they are not. They made a mistake in a document. My philosophy is hard on the issue, soft on the person. So it's rare that I don't know if I've ever shouted at you.
She doesn't shout.
She doesn't shout.
But I think sometimes shouting could be better. She doesn't shout. She has that calm conversation. And you're seeing her face and everything. You just see yourself.
Maybe is she forgiving me or is she, what's she thinking about?
But yeah, obviously those things happen, and obviously, I think one of the things, interestingly, you mentioned that I'm good at feedback, which I didn't know, because I know earlier on I wasn't, and I would just keep it in when someone had done something wrong, which I realized was making me feel maybe better because I was avoiding conflict, but I was not helping the person at all. If they don't have feedback, they can't get better, they can't improve. So maybe I've gotten better at giving feedback. But also what I would say is interesting, like she mentioned, I hate the word sorry. Not because I don't want you to feel apologetic or know that you've done something wrong, but don't think that I'm angry at you and therefore you have to keep telling me sorry. Once we've done with the issue, in 2 minutes time, okay, should we get pizza? It's not really like I'm so angry at you that you should be walking around the office like this. It's never that. So, and I think that's maybe just the way I work, and I know that not everybody is like that, and that is a real shame. But then also, I wanted to mention that when it comes to giving feedback and receiving feedback, it's always important to not action too quickly. And oftentimes, because Mary Barbara knows who I am, I'll just ask her one question about what she's submitted, and then she goes quiet. that's a bad sign because it means behind the scenes she's trying to fix the problem. I didn't tell you what to fix. I just asked you, why did you do this? And for me, again, this is, I guess, me growing on my feedback thing, but maybe I'm not doing it the right way. I'll ask you, okay, why did you do that? I always need a rationale for everything because if I understand why, I can now talk to you and tell you, no, actually, that's not the way to do it. But if I say, why on this public platform did you send the client this message? It's already been sent. They've already read it, and then you delete it. Did I tell you to delete it? Now we look unprofessional. I didn't tell you to delete it. I just asked why did you. So I have to stop, and I think a lot of the team do this at different times. I have to say, please, I'll ask the question, brackets, please answer the question. There was no action except the question that I just asked. Please answer the question. And now it looks even more passive aggressive, but I literally just want you to answer the question. And also, you might think that I'm angry, but I'm not even angry. So I'm just asking, oh, how come you sent it like this? When there's silence, it's a problem for me because someone is running behind the scenes trying to fix the problem. Don't do that. So again, I don't know necessarily who you guys work with, but I think even from my experience with other executives, it's important there's a face value when it comes to feedback. What have they actually said? Not what are they trying to say, what do you think they said, what's the underneath? First, what did they say? Have you digested it? Have you understood it? As long as they're not telling you that you have this and that, because obviously, just discount that stuff. When it comes to the actual issue, what have they said? Try to digest it before you try to solve it. And I know that's what you're there for, to solve problems. But just try to digest it before you rush to make any rash decision.
I'm sure she doesn't delete messages again after asking her. That's great. That's great. So now, over time, since 2022, over time, how have you seen her grow in her role?
Thank you so much for that question.
You're welcome.
This is the time where I get to gush. So, interestingly, when her brother mentioned her CV had many, many things. So it had something about the fact that she likes to be on radio. And for me, I was like, okay, DJ, tick. Obviously, she had the executive experience, the executive assistant's experience. I said, great, tick. Then she had something that she was doing in HR. Great, tick, perfect candidate. So for her, she's thinking, this person, this is why I would say to you, put your personality on your CV if you can. Not everybody's going to love it. Obviously, you don't have to make it super colorful and this and that, but your interest, especially if you're assisting someone with their life, it's nice, at least from my perspective, to know the person's interest, the person that's working with you. What are you actually interested in? Do we align on anything? Do you like to read books? Maybe we both like to read books. Maybe we both like, and I think it's important. It doesn't happen all the time, but it would be nice that you and your executive or you and your assistant respect each other as two human beings. So when I saw all the activities that she does, I'm thinking, that is perfect. This is exactly the kind of person I need, whereas she's thinking it's a flaw. So don't get rid of your personality on your CV, that's one. And then, sorry, what was the question? Okay, good, thank you. I'm back. So my mother had maybe a year that she was doing some HR things for some people or one person. But since, following weeks, all sorts of meetings, since, us dealing with competency framework, this framework, that framework, all these HR things, I can now leave her alone to completely manage end to end. Somebody has come with a HR inquiry, and now they're signed on for 6 months or so. So Barbara is not just my EA or my PA. That's why I had to give her. She tried to leave me, actually. Yeah. She tried to leave me.
Explain yourself. No, defend yourself, please.
She tried to leave me.
I did. There was to what
my speaker.
Yes. So I got engaged, and then it took me months to tell her I was
You're
engaged.
a joker. I saw the ring. I was like, maybe you don't know that. I actually said, I don't know if you know, yeah? That ring is on the finger that suggests that you're engaged. Shake
To
that.
show you how conflicted I was. Some days the ring will be on my middle finger, some days to be on the other finger, and was just in the mood, like, but she kept on looking, she was like, Until she kept being like, this ring, what's this ring? And I'm like, well, I'm getting married. She's like, when? I'm like, oh, it's too far away. So we're cool. Where is he? It doesn't matter, I'm cool.
It doesn't matter. She wasn't going to
It
make it
does, because by the time the wedding day started rolling in, I was like, oh, we're getting married in November, this, that. She was like, okay. So finally, where is he? I'm like, Abuja. I'm like, okay, so he's relocating, right? And I'm like, we're thinking about it, but let's not settle on the.
It's a lie. She said, boss, he doesn't like Lagos. She were a recruitment agency. We can't get him a new job. Bring him to Lagos. Because one thing I don't want to do is lose this lady.
Well, she's here.
She's still here. So she even came to me and said, oh, probably gonna have to hand in my resume. I said, oh, do you want to leave? No. Are you saying that because I'm asking you? No. I don't know how many times I said, no, it's okay. I'll cry, but do you want to leave? No, I do not want to leave. I said, so why would you hand in a resignation? Because we don't operate in Abuja. I said, no, we do. Oh, yeah. So you will take yourself. Not only will you not leave me, you will actually get a pay rise. You will actually get a promotion, and you will go and open the Abuja
But
office.
reality check. You know that at some point, she would have to leave you.
For what? I don't know. No problem. Maybe I think we are, jokes aside, we're in a very unique position. My company is not very big in terms of, size of people, but scale, we're trying to be huge, whatever. But genuinely, and I've said this to her before, because of who she is, and this is why I love seeing, I don't know who is an assistant and who's not, but I love seeing this many people here. Because for me, I don't just want her to be an assistant. I'm actually, depending on how long she stays, which she knows she's allowed to, but anyway, I'm actually hoping that I can get her to a place where she's not now chief of staff, she's now chief operating officer. I actually have that succession plan in my mind for her. So, yes, she can, in theory, leave. Sure. But do you want to leave?
Just to add to what she said, really, I can't count how many times she has had that conversation with me. Do you want to go? I'm not saying you should go, don't go. But aside from that, she genuinely is interested in what I want to do. And that's where I've worked with a lot of people. And some was a good partnership, some wasn't that good. And looking back on it now, I can't even blame the ones that weren't good, because I feel with each experience, I grew. Things that I thought they were wrong tasks, or people don't know my potential, I wasn't even ready. There are times where you would meet certain experiences and you are not just ready for that experience. You have to pass through fire. It has to sink in and work. And I'm just so lucky that, or rather I'm favored, that I got to a point where I'm now having that good experience, and everything I have learned, coupled with what she has imparted and keeps doing, is now being bountiful, or being reflected in my life's work. So we're still good.
Yes, I think my advice should be get kids now, since you know.
Oh, you are so funny. Remember, do you want to share them the bump? This lady is already 5 or 6 months pregnant.
Congratulations, by the way.
Congratulations, by the way.
She can take the love she gives her children.
No, I don't want it. So it's reserved for her child. As far as I'm concerned, this is our Foteino Talento child, because she's the best person that's worked for me. But I mean, obviously, and I think even for me, the kind of organization that that I want to run. And I'm sure all of you, if you've ever worked under someone, you know that, man, if I was in charge, I would do this and I would do that. And obviously, in theory, it's lovely. But for me, one thing, obviously, I'm a woman, is to make sure the women in my company feel comfortable. I've seen it. I mean, I don't know if you can tell from my accent, but I wasn't born here. So when I first came here and I was working in an advertising agency, and they mentioned just in passing, we can't really hire her because she's probably going to get married soon, have a baby. Yeah, let's go for the guy. It's like, you know, you can get sued for that. You cannot say that where I came from. So I've just always known the very difficult and harsh reality of being a woman in the workforce. So when it comes to the real stuff, yes, I joke and I never want her to leave me. When it comes to the real stuff, she knows, you know, you have a favorable maternity leave, you come back when you're ready. She already works remotely, so, you know.
Sorry to the men, but I think women are actually the better executive assistants.
Yeah.
Yes, they are. Anyways, to you, Mary, Barbara, what has built your confidence, over time working with your executive? What has built your confidence and your responsibility? How have you built it over time?
Had trust, clear communication, feedback. It's not every time you are opportune to work or get mentored by someone who trusts you with their business, or someone who is just very focused. Even prior to her, I would say it has just been a journey. I've worked with different people, men and women alike, and we're very different. Men are very different from women, and the most dynamic of them all are women. And this is not to say anything negative, but because for a woman there's so many things she's handling at the same time, and I don't think we compartmentalize things as easy as men. Like when men are in the office, they're in the office. It's just office. But when women are in the office, they're in the office, they are home, they're in the market, they are doing this, they're doing that. They're doing so many things at the same time. And when you are, for lack of a better word, catering to a woman, you literally become an extension of her. And probably women to women, you tend to understand more what she's going through because you can see yourself in her or in her life, or, oh, I know I'm going to be that someday. So for me, her having that trust in me to handle the business, communication, I can't even begin to emphasize how important it is that you are able to have a clear and good communication with your boss. This is what I need you to do. This is when I need you to do it. This is how.
And just to add, if your boss is not good at that, you have to make them better at it. The same way the lady at the front mentioned getting a diary because she's noticed that, okay, this is how, even if it didn't work, you might have come up with another idea and another idea. So you also have to maybe understand that your job is to also help them be better at giving you your job. Do you know what I mean? It's like a cycle. Okay, if you don't communicate with me, no problem, I'll call you every day. Okay, if you don't give me the task, no problem, I'll look through your email and find them myself,
Yeah, the thing is, I feel when you make their life easy, yours become easier. Once their life is easy, you breathe easier, everything just seems to be working very well. But when it seems like everything is falling apart, you are the first target, not because you are the cause of everything, but because things are falling apart. You can't see it happening. Why do I have to? Why do I have to think for you and think for me? Why do I have to? So that constant communication, that feedback, that trust, and then you also have to have that self-belief. You have to trust in yourself to say, I am capable enough of doing this. Am I researching enough? Am I doing better? Constantly trying to grow yourself in different areas. I say all the time that just because you are an EA doesn't mean that you have to be good in administration alone. It wouldn't take you anywhere. You will get frustrated. You have to be good in different aspects. You have to have, what's that saying? Jack of all trades. Although they say master of none, but the complete saying is jack of all trades, master of none, but better than a master of none. I think of one. Okay. So it's always a good idea to master different things. And if you're in luck, the things you're mastering are the things that surrounds or holds the center of your boss.
That's true. That's actually true. Because I'm an inventor, I'm a voiceover artist, I'm a media presenter, I'm a business executive.
Okay.
I'm also an EA, aspiring EA. So yes.
Please round of applause.
So yes, you should actually be able to master, all of it if possible, small these things. Thank you so much. We're actually out of time, but we still have some questions I need to ask. What's your advice to leaders that want to empower EAs better?
I don't know what that sign meant, but there was a lot of something in there. My advice to executives: please, if you don't trust the person that's working for you, find out why, and then just move on. Amicably. I mean, I know it sounds like I'm telling someone to find someone, that's not necessarily what I'm saying, but even though it sounds like that, it's more like, if you keep them in this box without you being able to decide, okay, this is how the person can improve, you're stunting your own growth, you're stunting their growth. So figure out what the issue is, why you don't feel like you can empower them. Then once you found out what that issue is, then you tackle it. So I guess on the flip side, the assistant themselves, you have to be outstanding. If you're not fantastic at your job, you're not going to get the trust of the person that you work for. And it's easier said than done, of course, but effort is always visible, or at least it should be. So if I can see that this person is putting in the effort, and if you are putting in the effort, there will be an output somehow. If you're, feeding the input, something's coming up. So if you're making sure that you are very, very good at your job, your executive should be able to see that. If there's some kind of mismatch when it comes to personality or styles of working, again, that should be highlighted and you should be able to see that. I definitely would not have empowered Mary Barbara if she was not good at the things that she does. And I think her best quality actually is being able to talk to absolutely anyone, from blue collar to white collar to Indian to Japanese, to whoever the person is, she is able to speak to them and then also speak to them on my behalf. So I can literally put her in front of the taxman, he'll be yanning, she'll be exchanging number, I don't know why you have his number, and then when I can't go to the meeting with our highest paid HR client, I can send Mary Barbara, and they don't even want to see me anymore, they only want to see her. So making sure that the person that is working with you, not for you, because everybody should be with, has the skill set that you need. And then also they should be able to complement you. So I'm basically trying to answer your question to say, there's a reason why you're not empowering them. And you have to discover what that reason is so that you can counteract it.
Okay, thank you very much. Do you have anything to add? Or that's fine. Okay, well, sorry, before you add, there's a card that needs to be repacked. The plate number is LND 769EF. LND 769EF. Please, you need to repack your card. Okay?
Okay, just to touch on something she said, when she says effort counts. I'm a bit harder with regards to that than her. And I know where we work, sometimes they find it easier to go to her than to me because they feel, Barbara, you will explain, time and evidence. You will talk. While I will commend you for your effort, I will tell you where's the results. Don't want these long stories. And I feel I do that because sometimes we tend to get complacent when we know that we'll always be rewarded for that effort. I can see you're trying, I can see you're trying. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. I can see you're trying, I can see you're trying. 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. Appraiser will come around the corner and you expect me to appraise you well because of effort and no results. And then when I'm trying to give you that feedback, it sounds like I'm being very stern. But if you are removing emotions out of it, effort doesn't keep the company running. Your efforts wouldn't have brought you to where you are. You have to be determined enough to convert that effort into reality, into a result. And once you can do that consistently, when you're not able to do that, there will be no issues. They'll be like, oh no, this person's like before. So just to that point, I'm more harder than her.
That's nice. I wish we could do who challenge, but we're out of time. But it would be very interesting. I really love the synergy between you both. It is beautiful. I want to really be a part of it. But I can't.
Oh, you can know.
It's fine.
I need to make us representative. Just so you know.
It's fine.
I'm on the lookout.
To wrap up this session, one last question. What's that one thing you both have achieved together that you're proud of? Do you have anything you're proud of? I love that you made it to not just
We have many. It's not like that. I think it's less of an item, and it's more that I am so happy that Mary Barbara can stand in for me in any situation. Even if we just touch on this DJ thing that I was trying to avoid, she's the reason why my rate has gone up. I don't know how many times since I met her or since she started doing my thing, because she'll just say, oh, her rate is something per hour. And then they'll say, okay. And she'll come back to me. By the way, boss, your new rate is something because someone just said that they would pay it, so therefore everybody's paying it. I said, oh, fantastic. So just, maybe the DJing thing is actually something that we can use to ask this question, but I think generally the fact that the synergy that is so apparent, I know we're kind of like, we're like, I don't know, it's really sickening, but that is the achievement for me. Because, her still being here, her still thinking about me as she's creating her family, which is crazy, but it's like, this is why I say codependent. It's crazy, but it's lovely as well, and that's the one thing that I think is the best thing.
Okay, thank you so much. I love this session, and I want to do this. I'm still going to do that challenge. So, who loves who more? Let me be straight.
I definitely love her.
I think so too. No, that's fine. I think she loves you more. Who agrees with me, please? Who agrees that she loves? Yes, she loves you more.
I mean, as an assistant, you know that if you decide to not come to work today, your boss will shake. For her, if I don't come to work, she has more work to do. So it's very different.
All right, thank you all so much. Thank you both so much. This was very, very interesting. Engaging. Thank you so much. Please, I would like to leave the stage, please. Thank you so much. Okay, so we are, oh my God, I can't feel myself anymore. So we had a very interesting session. I'm going to go for a break right now, like I've been emphasizing on. Okay.